Out here with version 1.09 in it, and I've got an Equinox 800 out here. We're going to do this comparison on this one scenario here. Clad dime with a portion of a square nail. And I do see some differences here with these machines, and people might want to take notes. Clad dime here. You see that idea in that window? More or less 45, okay? Now, I'm just going to check this machine right now in this video in park mode. Multi 1. Okay. Speed 6. Iron filter on 4. Alright. This is 60 tones. We'll let you listen to this. You get a 35 in the window. Okay. Here's the biggest difference I see. You're going to see it with this Equinox. Now, these machines have different ID scales, but they're not that different, okay? This one, I believe, has got a 60. That one's got a 50. Now, part of the scale is taken up by the ferrous range. Now, the disc in this machine is factory set. I haven't monkeyed with it in this test here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep straight over the dime here. But now I've come around this target, okay? Straight over the dime, and I'm going to vary the call height. That's about 3 inches above. See what that meter's showing? Has a tendency to hang around 35. Now I'm going to advance the call straight over the nail. So I get more true ID as I push the call that way. Now I'm going to bring the call back. The lip of that call is going to be out here sort of toward the end of that nail. I'm still coming back with it, okay? So 35 is the tendency. 34, 35 when I get back there. M2 with the same settings. Now, this is a challenge test. You know, I've set this up like this intentionally, okay? But that old Equinox is going to be swept over this very same... And I used it, actually, to set this up. I'm going to come over here again, straight over the dime. It's 35 again. 45, 46. So I get... mid 30 readings when I'm right in there. Okay, now remember what this dime reads here now. 46 there. M3. Same settings. Okay, I'm still getting a 35, but that signal seems to be a little peck more, okay? Over the dime. About 35, I advance the call. True ID that way, and get back here. Still see that 35, okay? So 10 points low on the ID. In some checks on this clad dime with that square nail 2x4 thickness above it. Okay, now I'm going to turn this machine off. Now, these tests can help you, okay? Tendency, detector tendency. What does it tend to do? That's what you're trying to figure out, okay? Okay, I'm in Park 1. And I'm at speed 7. I'll even turn that to 6. F20. All right. So I get a very similar signal this way, comparing these detectors with the settings that I have in them, okay? Now, what I will do, that's F22 for iron bias. All right, and that's F24. Because I don't want anybody to say, oh, you run this thing with the iron bias at 0 and you had that thing at iron filter 4. I'm not trying to do any tricks here, okay? I'm trying to show you all the actual, what I see different, okay? Now, you've seen the ID here. So she's given an 18. This is factory Park 1 disc in this machine. Segment 1 is notched out. Okay, here's the clad dime solo. 25. Now, I'm going to come over here. This is about 3 inches straight over that dime. 1924 an ID. So I'm 5 points low. Okay, now I'm going to advance the call. Start getting true ID just like I did with the Legend. Now I'm going to come back here. See my ID? So I'm 5 points low with this machine generally, and that machine I'm 10 points low when the call is back here. But the ID scales on these machines are not that far apart. I'm seeing double the error for ID. Yet I believe that's a 60 scale and this is a 50. So in this test here, that's the biggest difference that I see with these machines, okay? Hope you enjoyed the video. I guess it would be fair. I need to show Park 2. Because, you know, that machine over there set up with a Park program with M1, M2, and now the new M3. Well, this machine here, you know, it's Park 1 and Park 2. You don't have a Park 3. Okay, sensitivity at 23. Park 2. Speed 6. F24, okay? I'm going to sweep over this setup. First, I'll get over this clad dime solo. 25. All right. So I'm getting good two-way signal, but note the ID. Lower than it was in Park 1. 15, 16. Now I'm going to come around here and come straight over the top of the dime. That nail is there. Okay, so now I'm reading a little lower than I was with Park 1. I'm going to advance the call. Okay, I get more true ID that way. Now I'm going to come back here toward the back. Okay, so there I read 8 points low versus 5 points low in Park 1. Okay, using this detector here. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed.